Welcome to an Echo of the Past channel. I am Isabella I of Castile, the Queen who united Spain and opened the way for the New World. Today I tell you the story of how I built the world's greatest empire from a neglected princess. My life of intrigue, wars, faith, and discoveries that changed human history forever. I am Isabella, and I was born on April 22nd, 1451 in Madrial del Campo, the second child of King John II of Castile. No one expected a neglected princess to become one of the most powerful rulers in history. My father almost ignored me. He was obsessed with his son Alfonso, my older brother, who would one day rule Castile. I was just a spare part for any political marriages. But fate had other plans. I grew up in a time of civil wars and political intrigue. Castile was divided, the nobles fought against each other, the kingdom was falling apart. I saw the chaos around me and promised myself that if I had the power, I would bring order. My mother, Isabella of Portugal, taught me fortitude and piety. She was a strong woman who didn't give up even in the hardest of times. From her, I learned that a woman can be as strong as a man. She just has to be smarter. In 1454, my father died and my half-brother Henry IV became king. He was a weak ruler who was dominated by his mistress Beltrán de la Cueva. Castile was descending into even greater chaos. I knew that one day I would have to fight for my rights. No man would give them to me for free. My half-brother Henry IV was a disastrous king. He let his favourites control him. The kingdom was falling apart. The nobility despised him. People called him Henry the Impotent, and not just because of his weakness in government. In 1468, my beloved brother Alfonso, who was declared king by the rebels against Henry, died. Suddenly, I became a prime candidate for the throne. I was 17 years old, with all of Castile before me. Henry tried to disarm me by political marriage. He wanted to marry me off to his favourite or to some foreign prince who would leave him alone. But I had my own plans. I was secretly negotiating with Prince Ferdinand of Aragon. He was the perfect partner, young, ambitious, and most importantly, our marriage would unite Spain's two largest kingdoms. This was an opportunity to unite Spain. In 1469, I married Ferdinand, despite Henry's prohibition. It was risky. I could have lost all rights to the throne. But love and politics went hand in hand. Ferdinand was not only my husband, but my best ally. Henry was furious, but it was too late. Our marriage changed Spanish politics forever. After my marriage to Ferdinand, the real power play began. Henry IV declared me an illegitimate heir and installed his supposed daughter, Juana la Beltraneja, in my place. Everyone knew she was the daughter of his favourite Beltrán, not him. Castile was divided into two camps. I was supported mainly by the lesser nobles, the towns and the church, those who wanted strong government and order. Juana was supported by the high nobility, who wanted a weak monarch they could control. For years we fought for every ally, every city, every fortress. It was not just a war of swords, but a war of words, intrigue, and diplomacy. I had to prove that a woman could rule as well as a man. In December 1474, Henry IV finally died. I immediately declared myself Queen of Castile. I was crowned in Segovia with full royal pomp. But Juana and her followers weren't going to let it go. The war for the Castilian inheritance began. Juana married King Alfonso VI of Portugal and won the support of France. A powerful coalition stood against us. But I believed in my just cause. 5 years of bloody war. But in the end, we won. In 1479, the Treaty of Alcázovas was signed. Juana renounced her claims, and I became the undisputed Queen of Castile. I was finally a recognized queen, but my work was just beginning. Castile was devastated by civil war, bandits on the roads, rebellious nobles, an empty treasury. I had to create order out of chaos. First, I tackled the nobility. Those lords thought they would rule in my place. How wrong they were. I ordered their unauthorized castles demolished, their private armies abolished, their royal authorities subordinated. I established the Holy Hermandad, a royal police force to keep order on the roads and in the cities. Those who defied the law were punished without mercy. In a few years, Castile became the safest country in Europe. But my greatest achievement was the unification with Aragon. Ferdinand and I ruled together, I in Castile, he in Aragon, but as one couple. Our motto was tanto monta, both equally. We created a modern state apparatus. We set up a royal council, reformed the judiciary, unified the currency and the laws. We turned a medieval feudal system into a modern centralized state. In 1492, we conquered Granada, the last Moorish stronghold on the Iberian Peninsula. 8 centuries later, the Reconquista was complete. Spain was finally united and Christian. A united Spain needed a united faith. I could not allow my kingdom to be divided between Christians, Jews, and Muslims. Unity in faith meant unity in state. In 1478, I established the Spanish Inquisition under the leadership of Tomás de Torquemada. It was a necessary measure. Many conversos, converted Jews, practiced their old faith in secret. This was treason against the Christian state. Critics say I was cruel. But what was a responsible ruler to do? Should I have allowed my state to be corrupted by heretical practices? Should I have ignored the danger to Christian unity? After the conquest of Granada, I issued an edict to expel the Jews. Anyone who did not want to be baptized had to leave the country. It was a difficult decision, but necessary. Spain was to be a purely Christian kingdom. I know that many people condemn me for that, but I was responsible to God for the souls of my subjects. I would rather sacrifice a few thousand bodies than endanger millions of souls. God's will was clear. The Inquisition also helped me unite the country under royal power. Whoever stood up to the church stood up to the crown. Fear of the Inquisition kept order better than any army. 1492, the year that changed the world. We had just conquered Granada, expelled the Jews, united Spain. And that's when a strange Italian named Christopher Columbus came to me with a crazy idea. He said he could sail to India by the western route. My advisors laughed at him. They all knew the earth was too big and the ocean too wide. But something in his eyes caught my eye. It was the same passion I felt when I fought for my throne. Ferdinand was skeptical, the treasury empty after the wars. But I believed. If Columbus succeeded, Spain would have a new route to the spices and riches of the Orient. It was worth the risk. I sold my jewels to finance the expedition. 3 small ships, Santa Maria, Pinta, Nina, set sail from Palos on August 3rd, 1492. Most people thought they would never see them again. October 1492, the day that changed history. Columbus landed on an island he called San Salvador. He thought he was in the Indies, but he discovered the New World. My gamble paid off beyond all expectations. When Columbus returned with gold, parrots, and strange natives, all of Europe was amazed. Spain became the world's greatest naval power overnight. Besides building an empire, I had to think about the future of the dynasty. Ferdinand and I had 5 children: Isabella, Juana, Maria, Catherine, and Juan. Each child was a political tool to consolidate Spanish power. My eldest daughter Isabela married Prince Alfonso of Portugal, then King Manuel I. That secured peace with Portugal. Mary also married Manuel after Isabel's death. Portugal was firmly tied to Spain. Juana married Philip the Magnificent of Burgundy. This gave us a link with the Habsburgs and the Netherlands. Catherine was married to Prince Arthur of England, then to his brother Henry VIII. England became our ally, but fate was cruel to my children. My son Juan, heir to the throne, died young. Isabella died in childbirth. Juana went mad after the death of her husband. Of my 5 children, only Maria and Catherine remained, and both lived far from home. The most painful was Juana la Loca. She loved Philip so passionately that when he died, she refused to bury him. She carried his coffin all over Spain. I had to declare her unfit to rule. I realized that my dynastic policy had been successful, but at the cost of my children's happiness. I was a good queen, but perhaps not such a good mother. In the last years of my life, I saw my dream of a great Spain come true. Our ships were bringing gold from America, our conquistadors were conquering new territories, our empire was expanding all over the world. But I knew my work was not finished. Juana was mad, Ferdinand was getting old, my grandson Charles was too young. Spain needed a strong hand, which I could no longer provide. On November 1504, I died in Medina del Campo at the age of 53. I was tired of the long years of rule, the wars, the intrigues, the loss of my children. But I died a victor. I left a united Spain, the greatest empire in the world, stretching from America to Italy. My successors inherited a power that controlled the world's seas and trade. My will was clear. Spain must remain united, Catholic and strong. The Inquisition must continue to protect the faith. America must be Christianized. The enemies of the faith must be defeated. Some call me the Catholic Queen, others the Iron Woman. The truth is, I have been both. I was a woman who proved that gender is no barrier to greatness. I was a queen who changed the world. My life has been a fight for unification, for faith, for the greatness of Spain. I created a world empire out of a fragmented kingdom. I brought order out of chaos. I opened the way from the darkness of the Middle Ages to a new era. I have been harsh, sometimes cruel, but always just according to my conscience. I fought for what I believed in, for the Christian faith, for Spanish unity, for dynastic glory. Don't forget to subscribe to an Echo of the Past channel and give a like if my story has inspired you. History is full of strong women who changed the world against all odds.